Hello and welcome. Today I want to share with you The Anatomy of a Witch Oracle by Laura Tempest Zakroff. So she is an artist herself, and she's already had a deck, I think, maybe called the same name as her book, Weaving the Liminal. I think it won an award as an oracle deck, and so this is, I believe, the second deck she created and did all the art herself, and I really like it. Being a witch theme deck, I think this is really unique and different from all the kind of other witchiness you see from cards in the market. And I feel like what's I gonna say? And I feel like it's such magical, of course, but there's a lot of wisdom in there, and the way the art and the concepts are portrayed, it's very open. And I think this could bring a lot of reflection and a lot of joy plus magic to anyone getting a reading from this deck. As usual, I will share a little bit about the energy of how this deck comes across, and then a little bit of my interview with this deck. So one of the first thing comes from art and the visual part of it. I almost want to say this is maybe like a healthiest image of a witch that you would see from a card deck. Obviously it has a yellow parchment paper kind of background for all the image, so overall it's very bright and airy and with yellow and all the kind of the style with a lot of lines just flowing through. It's like I said, it's very open, and you can also say it's very inclusive of all sorts of witchcraft practices, but I feel like open. It makes me feel like an open air market, open air garden that describes the feeling even more. It's not intensely focused on any mood or practice or any darker side. It's not overly focused on other side of the veil or the occult, all that kind of thing. It's not heavy on altars or deities. It's mostly elements of our lives as a pagan, with a touch of magic. There's some decks in this spirit, also just kind of being very integrated into daily practices and very inclusive. But this one is even yes, it's just very free flowing. And part of it has to do with kind of the second characteristic visually, which is the art of each card are more of objects or standalone images, very little, mostly objects and scenes, as opposed to full border images of, usually they're a full context or a full story, which I usually prefer. I love a very full imagery, like I'm bringing to a fantasy world, and it's got a bunch of elements and for imagination. But here in this deck, it's created with the intention of using these as hints to inspire your daily practice or a specific ritual that can be big or small, or other magical work. It's easy to turn, say, dream that's something that's happening, or that something could maybe manifest with timing of solar or lunar events. Pair that with one of our senses, and that could turn into like a focus or a draft for a ritual based on the card and the reading you get. It's very helpful for hands-on spirituality for your practice. And other than that, with that intention of having objects or a single topic stand out in a very pragmatic way, other than that, this style of image has an effect of not being overpowering. It's not forcing a theme or leading you into the very fully defined world. Each card feels like it's kind of like a hint, a spark that once you touch could dissolve and transform into something else with whatever you are bringing in yourself. It invites your higher self to come out and complete the story. You can, with the cards you get, you can string together and create your own theme, your own action, your own timeline. And despite being objective, you know, I think with the design of the images and each topic, the first few cards I got from this deck include cards like love or nourish. That means while the deck is meant to inspire more than lead, I guess, it's not all hands off. It still cares. It encourages you to fully love yourself, love your body, appreciate what you have physically and metaphysically, as the author likes to say. And yes, and use that as your first and foremost magical tool. I kind of feel like sometimes it comes across as less of a spirit of the deck. It stays quiet instead. It kind of feels like an oracle of yourself, your higher witch. It's like a mirror. It gives you a lot of chance for reflection. You might not be talking a whole bunch, but it's really good at letting you bounce off ideas and thoughts, both upon yourself and the relationship with the divine. And I feel like even for someone who's not diving deep into witchcraft or pagan practices, these are a lot of most of these cards are in the category of body being, which is described in the booklet. So it's how we experience our physical or mental or emotional body at a time, how we're being, how we are living. So, and other things, there are a few cards of which objects or magical practices, commune, bless, cleanse, that kind of thing, and it can serve as kind of a stepping stone to think about how you can bring more into your relationship with the physical experiences. Okay, I feel like I've been talking really quickly, and yeah, that's the energy I'm getting from these cards. Is really bright and healthy. What a weird pair of adjective for witchcraft. But there it is. And now I'm sharing the 2 cards from my interview with the deck. Usually I do a 6-card spread, and I'm going to share 2. The first is asking the deck to introduce itself, and I got Nourish, which is really lovely. The card, I think, developed on the 5 aspects of, is it 5? Yeah, 5 aspects of the anatomy of a witch, and around the deck there are other things that we're saying. A lot of it is what Laura calls body being, and then there are calendar events and magical activities, things like that. And Nourish is one of the most grounding topic you can have in this deck. It's all the earthly goodness. You have everything to nourish your body, your mind, your heart and soul, all that. So this is the deck that she's gonna represent all that, and that just adds a little bit more, to me, it adds a little bit more of love and pink to this deck, which can kind of be seen as more of a witchcraft practice support deck, but with this card being its essence, how it introduces itself, I feel like this deck, beautiful deck, could just be great company, great offer of great advice, and can spend a lot of good times together. Okay, and the other card I drew asking the main message it want to deliver to us in readings was the serpent. And so this is one of the anatomy of the witch, the serpent. So of course it represents a lot of our primal self instinct. To me, I think it also talks about, puts our focus into our body, our way of movement. Also, this really kind of jumps out to me that in Chinese mythology, the world was held up by 4 pillars, and the north pillar was a snake turtle. So to me, the serpent is not just very individually alive in us, it's also served as this very grand world structure thing. And so saying that we don't want to separate ourselves from the world, and the powerful spirit lives within us. I think in the deck it also talks about moving in the way as a serpent does. It's calm, it's strategic, it's in tune with instincts, and it's not reactive. So move slowly, observe, and act with precision. I feel like, you know, even though with this very gentle and nurturing kind of personality, it is bringing us to this level of embodiment. I lastly want to say that having a deck that's created by an artist herself, there's something magical in that for me, because I enjoy artistic work, creative work, and go through the struggle and satisfaction of the artistic process. So having the result of, you know, wonderful witch and teacher and artist, this is like an artifact of that kind of mentorship, fully embodied in this deck and in this art. And because just maybe it will lead me also to a more hopeful, more faithful, more expensive artistic path. Just seeing how magic and daily practices in our bodies and artistic work just all coming together in this deck, and having that with me. I feel like despite resonating strongly with the idea of an embodied witch, which is, you know, using our body as magical tools, is what this is about. Despite of that, and I love that because I do very few, like, you know, ritual or working with a lot of tools, that kind of thing. But somehow this deck and the book Anatomy of Witch actually motivates me to do more physical ritual and spell work and be more connected with things I have, because I can stand outside of my body and just see more of the connection things. So very inspiring deck. See, love this great card, which is, you know, she sings, she dances, and yes, I feel that connection in my own life, my work, my practice as well. So hopefully, I think I've covered everything. This is a deck, very joyful deck. I hope this helps explain the energy of these cards a little bit, and I will see you in a next video.